The Queen and the Crone is the second DLC for Total War Warhammer 2, where Alarielle is the Queen, Hellebron, the Hag of Ganeth, is the Crone, an ancient priestess of the Dark Elves. As a bride of Cain, her entire twisted life is dedicated to worshipping the god of murder and sating his constant thirst for bloody, agonizing sacrifice. No other witch elf could match Hellebron's mastery of the many ways of murder. All witch elves look to her as she leads Cain's unholy rites and dictates the creed all dark elves will follow. But the first Hag Queen, Morathi, still stands above her in Cain's sight. While Morathi's beauty never fades, Hellebron withers away with each passing day. But a witch elf may bathe in one of Cain's cauldrons of blood, an ancient artifact that renews the youth of those who spread his chaos. But ever more sacrifices are needed to fill Hellebron's cauldron each year, and its effects grow weaker. Once beautiful beyond measure, the Blood Queen must now spend months as an aged crone. But in-game, she may call a death knight, sacrificing captured slaves and washing herself in murderous rampage. Then she will stride the world again in youthful splendor to spread her misery as the Death Knight summons an army of Dark Elves to undertake a blood voyage in her name. A thrall who spoils the Crone will claim as her due. But the bargain is hard struck. If she does not regularly pay in blood, she will again wither away. To help refill her cauldron, she will have massive upkeep reductions to Witch Elves, Ganeth Executioners, and Sisters of Slaughter, all of which she can improve with her unique skill tree. Hellebron also has access to a unique new Dark Elf rite, the Sacrifice of Drakira, which brings bonuses when fighting High Elves, and gives rank bonuses to both Death Hags and Witch Elf units. In combat, Hellebron is an unstoppable flurry of blades, relying not on armor but stolen blood to renew her and regenerate lost health, using potions to drive herself into a battle rage, coating her blades in a deadly poison that drives any they touch to madness. She may also quest for her twinned legendary weapons, the Death Sword and the Cursed Blade, which strike out at any who would dare stand in her path. But the true weapon of choice in the Queen and the Crone is the sword of Cain himself, the Widowmaker, the God Slayer. A cursed magical sword considered so powerful that it is kept locked away. But if any elf were to take it up again, they could not only change their world, but the entire course of history. It calls to any powerful enough to wield it, but once taken up, drives them slowly insane. In-game, you'll see this as ever-increasing public order penalties. At times, you'll be given the option to lay down the sword, but if too long passes, it will consume the wielder and can never be released. It could be a fitting weapon for a crone, or a deadly ally in the war against darkness. But one thing is sure, wherever Hellebron treads, the gaze of Cain follows, as she sweeps away any in her path to a frenzy of crimson madness, fit to drown the world in blood. The Queen and the Crone DLC for Warhammer 2 releases on May 31st. If you enjoyed this one, make sure to check out our companion video on Alarielle the Everqueen. And as always, thanks for watching. Sorry, I have a cold, and that deep voice is the only way I can do those right now. Normally I end the videos there, but I want to talk about the insanity that is the Dark Elves, and Crone Hellebron in particular. I obviously love Creative Assembly's historical games, but there's just something so darn crazy fun about the world of Warhammer. The Dark Elves are that 1X you make sure never to bring up in a conversation because they are a whole bag of crazy. I said this over on Total War's official reveal video. I mean, the Sisters of Slaughter use whips and masks for crying out loud. They're just so 80s heavy metal. I mean, such perfect villains that you can almost hear their evil Tim Curry laugh. The Crone's backstory is also clearly the Hungarian Countess Elizabeth Báthory, who bathed in the blood of young women to keep her youth, except in Warhammer lore, even that's turned up to 11. The Sword of Cain is a twisted version of Arthur's Excalibur. You end up using it on your own people to quell the rebellions you cause by keeping it. I mean, it's deliciously ironic. So if you haven't tried out Warhammer 2 yet, there's a lot of historically inspired personality to it, and I can't help but recommend it for its fun. If you want to know more about the history that inspired the lore of Warhammer, leave a comment below. If there's enough clamor, I'll make a video about it and talk about the real world aspects you can actually see in the game.